Well, hello, friends. Today I have some exciting news to share with you. As you can see, I am wearing a Kansas City Chiefs t-shirt. And I should add, it is the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. You know, it seems like it was so long ago that the Super Bowl happened and we were all celebrating that championship together. You know, in a similar way, it seems like so long ago that we actually gathered in person to worship. But today I have some news to share with you regarding that. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been in conversation with our church leadership, including the chair of our church board, our lay leader, and the board itself. We've been looking at the results of the survey that we shared with you, following the guidelines of our local health department, as well as just taking consideration guidance from our bishop, the Bishop Robert Farr, over the Missouri United Methodist Conference, looking at other churches in our area, and just taking all of that information together to try to put together a plan where we can start coming back together and worship, but to do it responsibly and safely. And today I'm excited to tell you that we have a target date to return. I want to emphasize this is a target over the next couple of weeks. If there is a surge or a change, that we may push that date back. But I can tell you that as of today, we are targeting Sunday, June 21st to begin returning to in-person worship. I do know that that is Father's Day, which to me seems kind of fitting, that we would begin to return to in-person worship on Father's Day as we worship our Father in heaven. And certainly I am excited to get back together with you, but I also want to let you know that even though we're starting to come back together, it's going to be different. Now, let me first say this. If you are not ready to come back, please wait. I understand that. Do not feel any pressure just because we are opening the doors again on a Sunday morning to race right back in here. Don't feel any pressure or expectation. This is just a beginning. We're starting to return back together, and we're still taking the things that's going on in our society into consideration. And I know for some of you I've talked to, you're thinking more like June, maybe some later than that. In our survey results, it was really about a third of the responses said June, a third of the responses said July, and a third of the responses said August or later. So we're going to come back at our own pace, and I fully support that. Also, I want to encourage you, if you are compromised in some way, particularly those of you that are most vulnerable, please wait. Your safety matters most. And as excited as I am to see so many of you and to be here with you, again, I want to make sure that's being able to be done safely. So I do want to encourage that. I also want to tell you, and this should go without saying, but I need to say it, is if you are sick, please don't come. If you've got a cough, if you're running a fever, whether you think it might be the COVID-19 or it just might be something else, please, out of consideration for others, don't return just yet. Make sure that you are fully healthy for that. So, for those of you who are ready to return, I kind of want to give you an idea of what it's going to look like when we return to in-person worship, because it will be different. First of all, I'm not concerned about capacity. We have a very large sanctuary, and so we have plenty of space for those who do tend to return as we get things going again. But with that said, we will be practicing social distancing. That means that when you are in the building, the expectation is that you will maintain at least 6 feet of distance from others. And that is true when we go to the sanctuary to worship as well. We plan to block off pews. We're going to be sitting in every third pew. That means if one pew is open, the next 2 will be roped off. Even by doing that, we still have plenty of space for us to be able to gather again in a safe way. Obviously, if you come as a family unit, feel free to sit with your family in that pew, but just maintain, whether it is in front, behind, or beside, that we are at least maintaining that 6 feet of distance. Another thing that we are encouraging is to wear masks. Now, I know masks are kind of a hot button issue right now, but it is one of those things that we think is responsible and helpful. And while we are not mandating that every person who comes in the building wears a mask, I do want to encourage you to wear a mask. We're going to have some available if you don't have any. I can tell you that on behalf of myself and those who will be leading worship, while we're leading, we will not have the mask on, but When we step off of the chancel area, when we gather out in the sanctuary and the rest of the church, we do as leaders plan on wearing masks in that time. We will not be doing any meeting greeting, no shaking hands and no hugs, no passing the peace in that way. We are going to be removing the hymnals and the Bibles, so it will be a contact-less gathering of worship. Baskets for the offering will be at the back of the sanctuary that you can leave your offering there as you come in or as you go forth. A couple other things, we will not be having hospitality as far as coffee and refreshments. We're not going to move into that just yet. We're not going to have our furniture in the lobby. Again, we're going to make sure to allow for plenty of room for people to social distance and to give that space. Also, we are only returning for in-person worship. There will not be any Sunday school happening just yet. We will also not have any nursery or children's or youth programming. Those kinds of things will be resuming later in conversation with our youth and children's directors. We're targeting when school starts back up as being a good time for those programs to start again in person. So that will still be a ways down the road. Overall, what I want to stress to you is that this is going to be a return to in-person worship, but in a way that is responsible and safe. Social distancing, mask encouraged, no greeting, no passing stuff, contact less as possible with no other Sunday morning. I know some of you are looking forward to those things, and it doesn't quite feel like church in that same way, but this is a first step as we begin to come back together, and again, trying to be considerate of everyone and following John Wesley's rule to do no harm. So again, I look forward to getting back together with you, and I pray and I hope that you'll be supportive of the policies that we've put into place and be mindful of one another and the safety of one another. Couple of the real quick things to share with you. One, even though we have been working, many of us in the office and taking work home and forwarding phones all along, we're going to start office hours back up soon. Be watching for that as soon as even next week. We're going to be posting some office hours when someone will be here. If you need to come by to pick up something, to drop something off, what we're going to ask is that you call first so that whoever the staff is that is here can make sure to take proper safety procedures, masks and so forth, before you come back in the building. But we are returning to that. Finally, we have a big event coming on June 20th, the day before we return to in-person worship. Our children's ministry and families is going to host a food drive to feed the hungry in our community. On that Saturday morning from 9 to 11, we're going to invite you to come up and to donate food. We'll have more information coming to you, what that's going to look like. We're going to have stations set around the parking lot where you can come drop off your food. We'll have families ready to receive that from you, again, with masks and taking safety precautions to, again, meet a need in our community. But here's a little extra thing. When you come and bring your food, we have a gift on behalf of Aldersgate that we want to share with you. And I'm just going to give this little tease. It's a gift of Aldersgate at home. And I hope that you will come and check that out for yourself. And feel free to invite others to come by and to donate food to help feed those who are hungry in our community, as well as receive this gift from our church. Overall, friends, it is an exciting time. I know it's been difficult. I know we've missed it and missed this opportunity to be together. And I'm excited that we're able to start working that way, that as a society, we're starting to open up and moving, that direction. But always trying to be mindful of doing it responsibly and safely. So you'll be receiving some communication, emails and social media will be going out this week, next week. We'll continue to remind you, detailing all of the plans and procedures we have in place as we once again start coming together, not just worshiping in spirit, but beginning to worship in presence as well. So friends, I look forward to it. I thank you for your understanding. I thank you for your patience. I thank you for your support of Aldersgate. And let's keep being the church that God has called us to be. God bless.